coming wonderful things. We are believing God that in our generation there is coming an outpouring of power. There is coming a revival across all churches in all the nations of the world. We believe that there is going to come a strength and a victory of the resurrected one, because Jesus is doing a work in our generation now. Now, I want us to talk today about a topic that will be entitled God's Silence. And we're quick to bring to us the story from the book of 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "In those days, when the boy Samuel was serving the Lord under the direction of Eli, there were very few messages from the Lord, and visions from him were quite rare." This is a very dangerous state of affair. That is why the church no longer believes in miracles, because there are few miracles in the churches. We no longer see there are churches where things are happening, but globally, we have come to a point where we have been taught things that have been passed down, and we have the best teaching we can have in our generation is when we see God's raw power. When you see the blind's eyes opening, when you see the lame walking, when you see tangible miracles happening in our churches, when we see the sick getting healed, when we see the sinners repenting, when we see an overflow like the times of the book of Acts when streets were jammed by power. When you hear God's voice on every matter in your life, and when the Lord chooses, when God's silence is the most dangerous thing a generation can ever have. You know, when you are in a relationship, you can talk about a matter, discuss about a matter, quarrel about a matter. You are better, my brother, my sister, you are better. What becomes a problem is when people choose silence, then the matter is finished. In this place, Eli had sons who would have immorality done right in the premises of the church. Discreting. That was terrible. Eli's sons would get what belonged to God before something was offered to God first. They wanted to have a touch first. Honor, not gone to God, but to gone to things, gone to people, and other things. So God, which was silence, when it's no longer acknowledged, when sin is prevalent. Now, what's painful is we as ministers, as long as you are born again, you are a minister. As long as you're a Christian, you are God's representative on earth. So now when you choose to walk in an immoral way, because you are a worship leader, so people are praising you, because nationally they are praising your name, so you have chosen to get the honor from the Lord, and the honor has gone to your name because you have been used of God. So now the temptation which the devil had to begin to feel, let me be a God, has now gotten into you. And now you feel like everybody must go through you for them to be blessed. When you begin to feel like now you are a God on earth just because internationally your name is acclaimed, you now forget to say pride comes before a fall. God chooses to be silent when sin is there. May God help us as ministers to walk right before God. Temptations, Bible tells me Elijah was a man like all of us, but Elijah had passion. So when you have the passion to sin, remember you are setting a tone for your generation. The woman will look good, brother, but God to make sure you understand the goal in your life. See, you may feel like this is an opportunity to make money in corruption, but you need to understand to say Eli was rejected. When God's silence means judgment has already been set. So when you no longer hear God in your life, check yourself. When you can no longer hear God's voice, check yourself. Because it's like a dead sentence. When God was silent, then he already has begun to, it's like now a replacement has been found. A matter is like when Daniel came to interpret a writing on a wall that you have been judged and you've been found wanting, and your kingdom has been divided. It means many take care of ufasini. So no, let it not be that sometimes we get so much to begin to feel like you cannot be replaced. My brother, if you sing, people were singing before you were born. My sister, if you can preach, preachers were there powerful before you were even born. If you think you are a big pastor, there were bigger pastors before you were born. So don't think you are irreplaceable. Go ask, how did Esther came into being? She was a replacement. So a bigger replacement can come your way. Because God's silence is really dangerous. May God help us. May God help you. May God help us that we no longer be in God's silence. Let God speak once again. Let revival come once again in our land. Let churches be visited again. Let holiness and righteousness be atoned again in our congregations, denominations, and our nations. We don't need God's silence. We need God to speak to us, because a word from God is all we need. May God bless you.